the long and short of the story is, there's a woman on TikTok who posted a story about a bad date that she had with a guy named Caleb. Then other women saw that video and they thought she was talking about another Caleb, and then they were like, yeah, we met Caleb. And she's like, well, not that Caleb. But they were like, but who's this Caleb? And so there's a Caleb who apparently worked at West Elm, the furniture place. And then these women were now like, yeah, this Caleb is a dick. What he did was he took me on a date and then went on a bunch of dates with me and then ghosted me and disappeared. And then, I don't know if like one of the women or the other one was like, he also sent unsolicited dick pics. And this became huge online. Like, I mean, massive, right? And then what happened was, like, one of the woman's videos went really viral, and she put up Caleb's face and his name and everything. So people tracked him down, found his workplace, started threatening like West Elm, like about like furniture and shit and him. And then like he's gone now. The guy's like basically had to go deep undercover. He's just gone. He's a 6'4" white boy named Caleb, and he's gone. And he had to disappear. And this became a huge story online because people were like, yeah, he got what he deserved. You know, this is terrible what he did to women and whatever. And I was watching this story evolve over the weekend. And you know what was going through my head? Well, first of all, I was thinking, like, it's amazing how much coverage he got from ghosting. He didn't do anything like super bad from what the people are saying. Unsolicited dick pics we'll talk about, obviously, that's bad. But I'm saying he just ghosted, and then the guy's viral on every newspaper in the country. And all I kept thinking was, the Uyghurs in China, they should ghost someone. I've never seen them get this much coverage. Yeah, you just like ghost a few people and then all of a sudden, everyone's gonna be talking about you, you know? But it was wild to me that like this thing became such a big story, considering it was like a private date and a private conversation. And don't get it twisted. I'm not blaming women who went on dates for anything. It's like a commentary on the culture that we live in. Do you know what I mean? But I felt like, I don't know if I was the only person, I was going, have we lost the ability to go on bad dates? Is that not a thing anymore? Because I go like, if you have a bad date, you're allowed to feel upset about it, right? And you should be able to talk about it. I mean, you should be able to roast, like if you went on a date with a shit guy, roast him all you want. Like that's in the Constitution, I think. The whole point of dating is so that you can talk shit about bad dates. Like that's why you go on dates, is because you want to get those stories about how shit the dates were. You know, otherwise, what's the point of dating? You like trying to find love, that's boring. You know, love is like what you want at the end, but you want the bad date stories along the way. That's why you're dating. Otherwise, you just do an arranged marriage, then you just go straight in, no stories. You know what I'm saying? But now, like, what was weird to me with the story is, like, these people are sharing stories that I personally felt you would share with your friends, right? But now they're sharing them on social media, going like, oh, this is what happened to me personally in my life. And then social media jumps on because the algorithm takes the story, which is like a funny story, because I should also include the woman who had like one of the most viral videos. She came out afterwards and she's like, oh, I didn't want Caleb to get death threats. I thought I was just telling a funny story to people on TikTok, which she was. But then the algorithm goes like, conflict, you know? It's like the conflict monster. And then it put it out to the world, and then the world was like, we don't see anything funny. Caleb must die. They're like, West Elm Caleb must die. And I love that that was his thing. Tabloids, everyone was like, West Elm Caleb, West Elm Caleb. Everyone, which is shitty in my opinion. I do not know West Elm Caleb. I have no affiliation with West Elm Caleb. I do not care for him. He's some random 6'4" white boy. I don't care. But maybe that's part of the reason it's fashionable to dunk on him, is because he's a straight white guy. So people are like, yeah, get him. But I still go, he's a human being. We haven't heard his side of the story, and people can just shit on him. And I don't think it's fair. I genuinely don't think it's fair. That like internet mobs just jump on you like this. And then your job? This shit went to his job. Imagine now your boss is there, and he's like, good sales quarter, you know, but the streets are saying you're a fuckboy. No one deserves that. And West Elm doesn't deserve this. These poor people are trying to sell furniture. Next thing, their phones are ringing off the hook. They must have been like, oh shit, the ads are working. And they pick up the phone. Hello? What? No, I won't forward your bum to Caleb. Thank you. And it's like, this story for me was like the perfect encapsulation of all the things that are great about social media, but then also are the downsides of social media. And part of it was a lot of the language that people were using, because they were saying what Caleb does, because apparently he sent some of the women the same playlist that he sent the other women, but he called them different names. And so they were like, oh, he's gaslighting us. I was like, no, that's just recycling game. You know what I mean? Most people have limited game. I don't know why everyone thinks they're fancy. Most people, everything you think that's unique about a person, they've done to everybody else that they've met. Well, is it just me, or are you? Yeah, you've done this many times. There's nothing spontaneous about anybody. They've done all the shit that you've met them doing. Every sexual position, everything. Do you know what I mean? They're not gaslighting you. And then they were saying he's love bombing, which if I understand correctly means he piled it on thick at the beginning and then just disappeared afterwards. So he was like, oh, I like you, texting. Then he disappeared. And they were like, that's love bombing. And here's the thing, I'm glad that people are going to therapy. I'm going to therapy, everyone's going to therapy. But we should be careful to bring the therapy speak into life because we are not therapists. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is love bombing. I think this is human nature. We get obsessed with a thing when it's new. We love using it, and that's it. When I was young, my mom bought me a fire truck. I drove the shit out of that fire truck like the whole house was burning for a week, and then I didn't use the fire truck. My mom didn't come and be like, you're love bombing that fire truck. She was just like, you got bored. The thing is not what, you know what I mean? And then they're like, this is abuse. This is a form of abuse. Look, man, I take abuse really seriously. I think we all should, you know? But I don't think all rejection is abuse. Life is about getting rejected. Unfortunately, for everyone to get a yes, someone had to get a no. Every one of us here. The fact that you're in a relationship with someone is because other people rejected them or rejected you. That's the only reason we get there. Life is about rejection. People have a right to reject you. It's shit, but they have a right to reject you. You know, all of these things. It's like now we're living in a world where people are like, no, I don't have a right to not feel good. No, I don't want you to not feel good, but people have a right to reject you. In fact, ghosting is not as bad as people think because the person is sending you a message by not sending you a message. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been ghosted and been like, but how do they feel about me? That's what they're telling you. They're telling you. He's like, I don't know how they feel about me. You know how you know what I mean? The only people who don't understand ghosting is those automatic services that text you. Then they say, reply stop. If you want to stop getting these messages, please reply stop, you know? So I don't know, I think it was unfair for Elm Caleb. Because look, I get what that woman was doing. She was telling a funny story online. I don't think she should have included his face. I don't think she should have included his name. You can tell the story and it'll be just as funny without telling. You could even call him Furniture Boy. I think that's a great name. Furniture Boy, great, you know? But then I think as society as well, we need to calm down with just being these like, you know, we're not even like detectives. We just jump into viral mobs. We don't know the people. We don't know the full story, right? All we know is that strangers are having drama. And then before you know it, we just decide to insert ourselves. And I always think to myself, before you insert yourself in any drama like this, ask yourself if that's what you would want strangers doing to you. Just ask yourself that question. That's just my opinion on it, you know. And please, I know people, I'm not talking about the dick pics. Just to be clear, I'm not including that. Unsolicited dick pics are never okay. Never okay. Dick pics in general, people. I don't know why anyone is sending dick pics, right? They're not cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen the statue of David? Even there, Michelangelo was like, giant statue. Dick, no, he's like, you don't want this thing now. Dicks are not like, they're not cool. No one's day is ever made better by an unexpected dick pic, you know? No one's ever like, yeah, I was really depressed, but then I saw Barry's dick and I thought, you know what? Everything's gonna be okay. Like, if a woman wants to see your dick, she will ask you for a picture or she'll watch Euphoria. It's like a dick a minute in that show, which is great. Don't send your dick to anybody. Nobody's day is made better by you randomly sending them your dick. Have you seen penises? They look like depressed old men. No one wants to see your dick. So yeah, that's Elm Caleb. Oh, by the way, did I tell you about the dates I had with Restoration Hardware Heather?